Now let's go ahead and load our clip into our source so we can watch it, and let's listen to that audio. When you're recording, you need to be aware of, like we talked about before, shooting for the edit to make your life easier. But you also need to be very well aware of what sound you're getting. People I've worked with on short films and things like that will tell you who are sound people, and that's what they do. If you record bad audio, you're gonna get bad audio. You need to be aware of the hums, the extra ambient noise. Like in here, I can always hear the noise of the air conditioning in our room. When you're around fluorescent lights like that, you are going to hear that weird hum. So when you play this, you hear that weird hum. And when I was recording this, I knew that that weird hum was there, and I knew I would need to go back and get rid of it. So I'm going to show you how you can do that. So I'm going to take this clip and I'm going to take it down to my timeline. So I'm going to click, hold, drag, and drop. Is this the first one? Yeah, it's the first one. And then I'm going to check it again. You can hear it. So there's people talking. You kind of hear this constant hum. Well, if we know this is going to be B-roll, we're generally going to have a voiceover, or we're going to have a SOT under it. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove that weird, awkward hum, so that way we can hear the people talking a little bit better, and it's not as distracting. Or you're going to be able to hear your voiceover or the SOT better. So what we're going to do is we're going to right-click. Now our mice don't have a right-click button, but to right-click on our mice, you hold the Control key. The Control key is on your far left of your keyboard, and I'm going to hit Control and click on that audio. And then it's going to open up a window, and what we're going to do is you can see at the top it says Edit Clip in Adobe Audition. So again, you're just going to take that clip 1 to the timeline. You're going to right-click, which is Control, click on that audio, and say Edit Clip in Adobe Audition. Now it's going to take a second, and it's going to open this clip up in Adobe Audition. And by clip, I mean audio clip. Since Adobe Audition is an audio software, you will only hear and see the audio, you will not see the video. But when we're done, it is going to send that audio file back to this same location and replace it. It is going to take a split second for Adobe Audition to open, because you haven't opened it probably before. And again, you know, the cloud seems to just take a little bit longer. Adobe's primary temp volume cannot be found. Please review Adobe Audition's cache form preferences. You can say OK. It's just saying, hey, where do you want me to save these files to? So you can see when you open it up, it is going to show you your audio file. Now, if you need to change your location, you can go up to your Adobe Audition, and you can go into your preferences, and we can kind of adjust where your information is going. So it was complaining that it didn't know where you wanted to save your stuff. You can actually change it in your media and disk cache. So again, that's going up to Adobe Audition, Preferences, and then you can go to Media and Disk Cache, which is what that box said. When your software opens up a weird little box before you open the software, make sure to read it, because it's telling you that there's an error or that you need to make sure to change something. So you can also see that there's a yellow triangle with an exclamation point in it saying, hey, there's a problem. So what we need to do is we need to set this to that same location as your project on your Adobe Premiere file. So I'm going to say Browse, and I'm going to go to my hard drive, Adobe Premiere Documents, Adobe Noise Print Tutorial, and say Choose. And now you'll see that exclamation point will go away. And you can say Shared Media Disk Cache. You can change that as well. I can go down to Shared Media Cache Database and say Browse. And I can go to the same location, pick my hard drive, Adobe Premiere Documents, and the proper folder, and say Choose. And now I can say OK. So we got rid of that exclamation point. So again, we changed that top one, the Auto Disk Cache, which is that error message we got when we opened it up. And we changed where our shared media cache is onto our hard drive, and we're going to press OK. So now we can press OK. And now you can have your audio file. Now, if you listen, oh no, did we lose audio? Dang it. I love it. I'm doing an audio tutorial and I lose the power of audio on my computer. Awesome. All right, we'll do what IT said. Unplug, replug. Does everyone else's audio play? Yeah, wonderful. I'm jealous. I'm jealous. All right, so I am going to have to do this without audio. So you're going to have to do what I'm doing, and you will hear the results. Unfortunately, you will not hear the results in the tutorial or when I do it. So I'm going to be doing this blindly. When you press spacebar, you can hear a hum, and you should be able to hear just the hum, and you should also be able to hear people talking. You want to find a portion where there is just the hum and nobody talking. And I'm just going to have to guess looking at these audio waveforms. So between 4 and 5, is this just an audio hum? 4.0 and 5.0, is this just a hum? 4 to 5? There's a little bit of people talking. So I'm gonna guess, and I'm gonna do it right here since I can't hear. I'm going to use the cursor, and I'm gonna highlight this small portion of this audio. And what we're doing when we highlight this small portion of audio, you can highlight what I highlight, but I can't hear what it sounds like. So if you do hear people talking at this point, don't use this. I'm going to highlight the part that I want to get rid of. Again, you cannot have any other people talking in it because it will then adjust the frequency of the people talking and it'll sound terrible. When you adjust audio that sounds bad, some things are going to have to give. In order to take out and adjust one frequency, sometimes other frequencies are going to be affected. So now that I've highlighted that one area, we're going to go up to Effects, Noise Reduction, Restoration. So we're going to go up to the Effects menu up top. So remember, you have to highlight a small portion of it. No talking, just that hum. Go up to Noise Reduction, Restoration, and say Capture Noise Print. The current audio selection will be captured and loaded as the noise print for the next time a noise print reduction effect is launched. Say OK. So basically, we're telling our computer, this is the frequency that we want to adjust and get rid of. Now that you've actually told the computer how you want the effect to be adjusted, we are going to select the entire clip and get rid of that hum out of that entire clip. So the way to select everything is, yes, you could drag your cursor, but you can also just hit Command A, just like you do in Microsoft Word. Command A selects all the text in Word. Command A selects all the text, or all the audio in here. Just hold, you have to click in the black empty area. Yeah, with the cursor. And I think that's like a weird click noise, so I wouldn't do that. I would do probably the smaller part after that and before, that bigger waveform. All right, and now we're going to hit, after you do the noise print, so you've gone up to Effects, and you already went and said, Capture Noise Print, you already did that. Then you're going to hit Command A to select all. Now we're going to go up to Effects, Noise Reduction Restoration, and say Noise Reduction Process. And then you can actually play it. And you can see my audio levels are moving, but I can't hear anything, but you should be able to hear a difference. Do you hear a difference? Now hit the word apply. If it's good and you don't need to make any adjustments, hit apply. And then you'll notice that if you look at your new audio waveforms, it is smaller. And there's some areas that look like it's almost empty. That's because you reduced that annoying hum. Now if you play it, it's not going to sound like it has that hum in it. So now all that you have to do is go up to File and Save. And it's saving it. It said it saved it. Then it's kind of scary, but trust me, you're going to close and hit the red button. And then you're going to go back to your Adobe Premiere and play that clip, and you don't hear that annoying hum. Yes, after you save, trust me, it's just like the title. Exit it out, and then when you go back to that same clip, if you play it, do you hear the hum? No. Did you do the noise print? Did you say effects, noise print, make noise print, capture noise print? And then now hit Command A. Now go up to the same place, effects, noise print reduction. So it's the second one underneath it, and then click on that. Now try listening to it. If you don't need to make an adjustment, then you can go ahead and stop it. And then if you like it, hit apply, then save it, then quit the program or shut it down, just close that window. And then if you go back to Adobe Premiere, you should hear that there is no noise. Now, do their voices sound 100% normal? No. Again, this is why in movies, the people who edit sound are not the people who edit picture, okay? In movies, you have the video people, you have the audio people. Audio people are constantly wearing headphones, they have their mics, they're using different kind of mics. Sometimes when we're shooting in stairwells, we'll get those, those big quilted mats that they give you when you're moving with U-Haul. We'll put those down on the ground to absorb the sound. If you record bad audio, you're often going to get bad audio. If you take something out of audio, something is slightly going to suffer. So this works well with this B-roll shot though. Now you're not going to have an error. So now I want you to go through and do the other two. So it'd be the same thing. I'm going to do it one more time. I'm going to try to unplug and replug my audio and see if this works. Let me change a few settings and see if this helps. Sucks that we had it and then it just disappeared. So you're going to do the same thing. You're going to take the Noise Print 2 clip to your timeline. You're going to right-click on it, which is Control, click, and then you are going to, yeah, of course. Why would I have audio on a day I'm teaching audio? This is just ridiculous. Ooh, that sounded like maybe. Yeah. Okay, so now I have audio. Thank Jesus. All right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take Noise Print Clip 2, drag it to my timeline. It doesn't matter how much you highlight as long as you're only highlighting the noise that you want to get rid of. If I highlight the noise and just part of her saying like it's, and I only get her saying the I, it's going to adjust all the audio for her speech. Then save, file save, and then you can just hit the red button up top. And then now try playing it in Adobe Premiere and see how it sounds. All right, so now that I still have audio, hopefully it still works. Okay, I hear the hum. So I gave you this one where there's a little bit louder audio, so you're going to have to be very cautious with the talking. So I'm going to hit Control, click on the audio, edit clip in Adobe Audition. So I'm going to teach you how to do a little bit more of this stuff. Like I said, there are people who that is their sole job, is just editing audio. When I've worked on short films, we have at least 2 or 3 people on audio, and that's what they do. And they are the ones who adjust the audio and edit the audio. You have people who specifically only edit video. Now, if you're working at a news station, or you're a broadcaster or a journalist, you're going to have to do this all on your own. But if you're a person who really loves audio, there are definitely jobs out there for you, just being an audio op and a person who edits audio. For some reason, every time I bring it to Adobe Audition, I can't hear anything, which does not happen at my computer at home. So I'm going to blindly guess this is going to be my noise print. Then I'm going to go up and say Effects, Noise Reduction Restoration, Capture Noise Print. Yes. Then I'm going to select all, Command A. effects, noise print reduction restoration, noise print reduction process. I'm going to play it and check it. Normally you would hear things. Unfortunately, I cannot hear anything. Then I'm going to hit apply. And then I'm going to check it, which I can't for some reason. And then I'm going to save it. File, save. And then if I quit it, I can go back to my Adobe Premiere. And you hear it sounds so much better without that hum. So you're going to do that for noise print 2 and 3. And then you are going to export it. You can put them right side by side together and just do one video file. So you can put them side by side. Do an in and an out point. After you do noise print 2 and 3, then you're going to go up to File, Export, Media. Now this is an HD DSLR footage, so we are going to export it differently today, okay? So I will leave this up here so you can see how to export it. But we're going to export it as, if you go to Preset, you're going to go to HD 1080i 2997 H.264 AAC encoder for the audio, 48 kilohertz. I'm going to change the output name. I'm going to call it my first initial, last name, noise print. So first initial, last name, noise print. I'm going to save it to that folder because I need to make sure everything's organized. And then when you're done, you would just hit export. So I'll leave this setting up here so you can see how to export it and what to call it. First initial, last name, noise print. So you need to do that for noise print 2 and 3.